last couple of days. I mean, how does the rest yesterday feel, and how do you think the guys looked in practice today? Obviously, the practice situation where you guys just take a small bus ride tomorrow morning. How necessarily is the environment in the clubhouse right now getting ready for tomorrow?
Guys are relaxed, ready to play. And it's had our banquet last night, which was outstanding. A lot of people showed up for that. Alumni, supporters, donors, that type of thing. Had a nice awards banquet for the guys. To a man, everyone that received an award was up there, and the main underlying theme was we're not done yet. We still got work to do, and so I think the guys are in a good mental spot to where they understand what we're capable of doing and where they want to go. Now it's just a matter of continuing what we've been doing and waiting for the game to get here tomorrow.
I feel like there's a little bit of fire in this team, a little bit of energy to know what's at stake and that they can execute.
There's nothing new that they haven't shown in the last month, and I think that's the key for us, is just to continue to play loose and relaxed, and not put too much emphasis or pressure on anything. Just go out and play the way they're capable of, and they do that. I like our chances.
How would you evaluate where you were going into last year's Pac-12 tournament and kind of a flip-flop of this year, being hotter going into this year's Pac-12 tournament?
Polar opposite. Last year we were hanging by a thread and putting guys out there that hadn't played a whole lot all year, and just out of necessity. We were banged up and injured, and trying to hang on, to get ourselves a spot in the regionals that ultimately didn't work out. But this year it's kind of polar opposite. We got guys firing on all cylinders and are fresh and feel good and swinging the bats good and extremely confident. So we'll take that against anybody right now.
What do you think you learned most last year that you can bring into this year and this experience to hopefully have more success this time around?
It's a whole different team than last year, so I don't really compare them all that much, other than just go out and relax and play. Enjoy the camaraderie amongst the teammates, enjoy each other, and play for one another.
Won 13 of your last 15 games. How have you been able to go on this winning stretch, and how has this team come together and found themselves?
Credit to them. That's on the guys in there that have bonded together, and everybody else gave up on them. They got closer, and I think that's a pretty special characteristic to have. And they've continued to stay tight as a group and as a unit, and trusted each other, and the accountability, I think, has gone up amongst each other in there, but also at the same time they're playing a lot more relaxed and knowing what they're capable of doing. And when you combine those kind of ingredients together, it makes for a fun run that they've been on.
You've talked about being written off before. Has this team, do you think, carried a chip or an edge or an underdog mentality to try and get their attention back on them?
It doesn't feel like that type of team that is out to prove anything to anybody. We know what happened, and those that wrote us off, that's okay. But from our standpoint, it wasn't necessarily we're going to get back at you and prove you wrong. It's just hey, let's just go play our game type mentality. And I think that's you have different mixes. I came from the school of wanting to prove everybody wrong and write every name down that doubted me, and you're going to pay for it at some point in time. This group, not to say that it's not a little bit in there with them, but I think it's more of a hey, let's play the way we're capable of playing and go out and relax and play our game and let the rest take care of itself. Both are obviously effective if used the right way, and I think that's the approach of these guys. Just relax, go play the game, and enjoy what they're doing, enjoy each other.
You're part of a squad that's the fastest to ever reach 100 home runs for an ASU team. How fun is it for you just to be part of that and watch those young men just hit dinger after dinger and know that they have that capability, game in and game out?
Well, I mean, that's a tribute to the preparation that they've done all year long, starting in the fall, and things are starting to click for them, which is obviously great. Makes my job easy, and you're never out of a game, when you have an offense that can swing the sticks like that. No lead is safe against us, and I think other teams know that. We're going to keep coming after you and keep swinging the bats, and for these guys to be the fastest team in a tremendous Arizona State hitting history here, to be the fastest team to hit 100 home runs, man, that's saying something with the amount of guys that have come through this program. So proud of those guys, and like I said, they're not done yet.
Do you like that nickname, Bash Brothers? Does it have a nice ring to it?
That's I don't have a comment on that either way, one way or another. Let's just keep hitting them, and they can figure out a nickname when this thing's all done.
Just to confirm, you got Marco on Tuesday and then Burns on Thursday.
I never said anything about Burns on
Sorry,
Thursday.
Jacobs.
Marco will go Tuesday, and we'll go from there. We'll do whatever we have to do to win Tuesday, and worry about Thursday when that gets here.
You have any status update on Burns?
Thomas will be available this week. So how we use him, it's not going to be in a starting role initially, but he will be available for us to use if we need him. If we end up using him Tuesday, we'll try to pick and choose the right situation for him. If not, then we'll get another bullpen in him and have him ready to go at some point on Thursday, hopefully.
You've been very fortunate in all 3 of your years to have this conference tournament format. Funny enough, that the first annual conference tournament in this conference was the first year you had this job. How necessarily, in your past 2 experiences with this conference tournament, how have you prepared necessarily for your guys to not necessarily be exhausted or not necessarily, feel like they're tired necessarily, even with the quick turnaround from the end of the regular season to this? What experience do you have from that, from the past couple of years?
I think, like I said, the first 2 years we were kind of running on fumes going into this tournament, and last year, for example, we probably going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but we were looking at potential of an NCAA bid last year. We thought the importance of winning that conference series against UCLA the last weekend was going to really, really matter, in the eyes of the committee. So we emptied the tank and used whatever arms we had to try to win that series, which we ultimately did. We weren't able to set up our pitching like some other teams were for that Tuesday that knew the situation they were already in well before that. We figured if we had won that series, then we were looking pretty good to get into the postseason tournament. Ultimately, it didn't work out for us. This year, as fate would have it, we were able to have a non-conference weekend the weekend before the tournament, so it's a little bit different. We still used our guys, but we were able to at least line up our pitching staff a little bit more for Tuesday and have a legitimate weekend starter going on Tuesday versus last year we had a midweek guy going on the first game of the tournament. So that puts us in a little bit better situation as far as the tournament is concerned.
Kian just talked about just a couple of minutes ago about how the Washington State sweep in Pullman was the necessary break that this team needed in order to get back to fumes and realize that they were better than this. Do you feel like that was the point of the season where you feel like everything started to change, at least from a mentality standpoint in the clubhouse?
I certainly hope so, because that was a low point of our season. I thought that's one that's a weekend I think that we point to that we wish we could have back and have another go at that, because we were not in a great place. I don't think mentally or we weren't playing great either at that point in time, and that's kind of when we lost Thomas Burns, that weekend following that game, and guys just hadn't experienced what it feels like to play winning baseball yet, and we had a significant wake-up call meeting after that series, and I did some crazy things at UNLV the following game and changed the lineup drastically and did a bunch of different crazy things to let them know that this is not acceptable. Is that the turning point? Maybe. That's when we start playing better. But we weren't hitting on all cylinders, at that point in time, but it certainly was the wake-up call I think that those guys in there maybe needed, and the adjustments they needed to make, that like, hey, we got to start playing better, because this is not the way we're going to make everything happen that we want to have happen if we keep playing like this.
Any thoughts? Maybe you'll have time to think about it later. You played in this conference. It's the last Pac-12 baseball tournament. really marking the end of the conference, so kind of your thoughts on that as a guy that played here?
Yeah, you know, I have had mixed feelings on that, of course. I had kind of those emotions when we played last weekend at Stanford, being the last regular season Pac-12 conference series for us. And, you know, it's a little bit bittersweet, I guess, from a standpoint of this conference. I've said it a million times, that Conference of Champions, we've had more national championships than anybody. I think we got 27, is that right? Heels, 27, I think, national championships in this conference, which is more than 10 of the next closest one. So College World Series appearances, this conference dominates any other conference out there. And so the history of this Pac-12 conference is really unmatched in so many ways: draft picks, titles, you know, championships, and it's a little bit sad to see it go, you know. And I think anybody on the West Coast would agree with that. And yeah, for me personally, this is the conference I played in. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a very competitive, fun, a lot of rivalries amongst it, and it'll be, you know, we'll miss those rivalries. I'm going to miss hating to play against USC and Stanford and UCLA and those teams that I just enjoyed to hate, and vice versa. And it was a mutual respect, but you enjoyed that rivalry. And to see all this kind of dissolve is, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. On the same token, once this tournament is over, we'll be joining a new conference next year. We've been welcomed with open arms to the Big 12. They've been outstanding and welcoming us, and we'll be excited for that chapter when it gets here.
Did you have a favorite moment as a player in your years here? What was your favorite moment?
You know, there was a lot of them. The one that sticks out is a tie game against USC at Packard, and hitting a bases clearing double, and having their coaching staff, 3/4 of their coaching staff, get ejected because they were so pissed off because they thought they had the guy before me struck out on a borderline pitch, and I came up and torched them, and God, it was beautiful to see them cry and get upset. And to me, that one just, yeah, when I think about just kind of all the cool rivalries, that SC one was very heated with us at that time, and never forget that double that I hit, and then all their coaching staffs getting thrown out of the game for arguing, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
What year was that? Do you remember?
That
what
was
year?
98. Yeah,
Okay.
that was you know, regular season of 98. They end up, of course, getting the last laugh by beating us in the national championship game, but yeah, that one regular season wise was pretty cool for me personally.
Given what this team has been able to do offensively, being arguably one of the best offenses in the country, and maybe overcoming some of the pitching struggles at times, how would you evaluate how far this team can go?
You know, it's when we're playing the way we've been playing lately, we can beat anybody in the country. I'm confident in that. You know, we can play with anybody in the country, and for me, that's when you have a guys that are playing loose and free and easy like this, and scoring the amount of runs that we're scoring and swinging the way we're swinging right now. It's you're never out of a game. It just takes a constant belief in each other, which these guys have. And you know, I've made the parallels plenty of times to that 98 team that I was on. That very similar type of team, to where we were written for dead. You know, halfway through the season, everybody was jumping ship on us, and it just kind of all of a sudden came together. And that second half run we had with that team was magnificent. You know, all except for the last game. This team, in my mind, is very similar, and to where we got hot, guys started playing the way we're capable of, and had a late season run. We got in the tournament, and the rest is history. This is that type of team, and which adamantly I'm going to fight for our guys, that we deserve an opportunity in this thing, because this is the team that gets hot in the end is a team that's dangerous going into the postseason. So obviously we got to take care of our business this week the best we can, and hopefully leave it out of the hands of anybody else and just take care of it ourselves. But in the event that that doesn't work, I still believe these guys have earned the right to play beyond this week. And if we get in, it'll be a scary team to play against.
You've talked about the growth of Ben Jacobs over this year, how he didn't play much his freshman year, so this is kind of his first full year. But after that, his last start against Oregon State, just 2 innings, giving up 7 runs. Do you feel like that sort of lit a fire under him to go on the stretch he's gone on?
You know, I think Oregon State's the number 6 team in the country for a reason. They're pretty dang good. But you know, as far as Benny, he just continues to grow each time out there, which is great. So, and yeah, he was a guy that had a handful of innings last year, and something ever since even the fall, just watching him progress each time he goes out there. Where there were times in the fall where, man, you're a mess, dude. You can't let one bad pitch, you know, snowball into the next and then the next. And he's really grown a tremendous amount, and that's, you know, tip my hat to Sam, you know, our pitching coach, who doesn't get enough credit on some of those guys' situations, and continue to work and grind with him and get him better. And there's been outings where he's just been flat out dominant and great, and you know, we're going to need him to keep doing that here at the end. And then, like I said, I think the sky is the limit for that kid. He's still going to continue to improve and grow and learn things, and he's turned into a pretty dang good pitcher. So.
Minutes ago, Jacob Tobias just got named the Pac-12 Player of the Week. Campos, then McLean, now Tobias. How has it been to see each different person step up each different week to kind of carry the lineup forward?
Well, to my point, individually that's phenomenal. You know, for guys to keep putting up solid weeks the way they've been doing, but that's just a tribute to what I said is to what we're capable of doing right now. And I mean, I don't know when the last time we've had 4 straight Pac-12 Player of the Weeks and for the same school. Hockey, I'm not sure, but never. There you go. Right? So this is history in the making. That's why I believe this team is dangerous, and we deserve a shot at this thing because we're playing the last month, you know, out of this world when it comes to an offensive standpoint. And, yeah, it's not the same guy every week. It's somebody different. And there's other guys. I mean, Ryan Camp. If Toby didn't win it this week, it'd have probably been Campy with the numbers that he put up this week. So it's like, pick your poison. You got 5 or 6 guys every week that are that caliber of player, and that's, you know, a reflection of how we're playing right now. And so when you add all those things together, are we a hot team at the end of the year that can make a run at this thing? Absolutely. So we're gonna keep hopefully.
Focusing on Tobias individually, he's had 10 home runs and 50 RBIs in back-to-back seasons. He joined Spencer Torkelson as the only other Sun Devil in the last decade to do that. How have you seen him progress through his 3 years here at ASU?
Well, when you're getting your name thrown in the same conversation as Spencer Torkelson, you're doing something right. He's, you know, I was talking to his parents last night at the awards banquet and saying, man, when I first saw Jacob Tobias in the locker room when I had first gotten the job, I'm like, this kid's gonna play here? I mean, you know, kind of pudgy and, you know, big old cheeks, and I'm like, is he a bat boy or is he a player that we're actually gonna have to work with? And I'm like, this will be interesting. And then the first inter squad that we had, and I saw that kid's hands work. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why he's here. He's got tremendous hands and a knack for hitting. And from that standpoint, it was okay. This kid can hit. Now we got to make him serviceable defensively and clean up the body a little bit and get him more athletic. And that kid, if you would, I don't know if we have a picture of him as a freshman to where he is now, the amount of work that young man has put in and transformed his body into an athleticism, you know, kid that can move around a little bit better and continue to develop offensively the way he has. And that's just that's a will to want it and a will to want to get better, which he obviously has. And the results have shown, and continuously he's gotten better each year and progressively better each year. And that's pretty cool to just see that kid come into his own and do what he's done over the last 3 years.
Each of them were just in here talking about how valuable the strength coach has been to each of them, to see kind of the body transformations, Compton, Tobias, even Kean a little bit go through that, how vital as them taking that own accountability and he reciprocating and being able to elevate the strength of the team, which has now played out to hundreds of home runs.
Well, that's that's part of the development process. You know, not everyone, but a lot of people overlook the development of the physical development and the mental development. They just look at, you know, how am I developing as a baseball player? Well, in order to do that, you have to get stronger, you have to mature, and your body has to grow. And when you have the value of a tremendous strength coach, Ted Henson, that we have, who doesn't just focus on lifting weights, it's more of the biomechanics and strengthening of different areas that are gonna translate onto the baseball field. That's what's important. And to see these guys develop, their bodies develop physically, and then combine that with the training and the coaching they're getting on the field, you know, in the batting cages and on the pitching mound and bullpen, that type of stuff, and have the things correlate to just becoming a better baseball player as a result. It starts in the weight room, man. You gotta get in there and get stronger, and you know, today's world, it's bigger, stronger, faster. And if you're not gonna be willing to do that, you're gonna get left in the dust. Our guys are tremendously dedicated to being in there and developing their bodies and getting stronger and faster and more explosive, and the results show. And I think proof's in the pudding with all these guys, even our pitchers that are, you know, take Hunter Omelet, for example, touching 97, 98 miles an hour now as a kid who never broke 93. Not that it's all about velo, but when you see those guys making these jumps, it's like, man, they're doing something right. And I think it starts in there, starts with the dedication of being in the weight room, and then you fine tune it with the coaching that they're getting, and that's what we're trying to do, is develop players. And again, a history of draft picks that we have here, and there's a reason why we're developing the right way and continuing to keep up with the cutting edge of baseball technology and lifting and mechanics and all that type of stuff. So end result, yeah, these guys are getting better.
Backs against the wall against UNLV, slugfest against Washington. How does this team continue to find a way to win when their backs are up, pressed against the wall?
Again, just playing confident and believing in themselves, and again, the way we're swinging the bats, we're never out of a game, and I think these guys understand that. We're just, hey, get a couple base runners on, we'll see what happens. And guys putting together solid at bats, passing the torch from one guy to the next, not trying to do too much, and good things happen. All of a sudden, it's, you know, we're down 5. It's guys are laughing. We'll get that next inning. Don't worry about it. We're good. And when you start having that kind of swag and confidence, it's a scary team.
Any significance to the knot?
To the what?
To the knot on your shirt.
Yeah.
What is it?
That's for the boys in there to know. Sorry, I didn't mean to wear this and open a can of worms, but yeah, we just, the harder that people are pulling on the outside, we get tighter on the inside. So I think that's significant in this year in a lot of ways, because there was a lot of people that wrote us off early, and we just got tighter as a team. So here we are.
Where you were last year going into the Pac-12 tournament versus this year now going into the Pac-12 tournament, what are kind of the emotions and things like that?
I would definitely say we're at a much higher place, that's for sure, compared to last year. But I mean, we're just excited and hopeful. We know how much these next couple games mean, and we're just trying to do our best and put us in the best place and opportunity to advance to the postseason.
Ken, after the emotional high of Saturday night, how have you guys been taking the rest? Have you guys just been letting loose, just trying to not think about baseball for a day, or have you guys like still been about dialed in focus ready for tomorrow?
I think everyone's pretty focused. I mean, we definitely did take the edge off, I guess, yesterday with that off day, and then just tried to lock it back in during this practice and just get ready for tomorrow. I mean, we're not trying to change too much, and so it's just kind of keep playing our game and just have fun out there.
Jacob, just with the comeback you guys had the other day, what are kind of the steps that have initiated these comeback abilities of your guys'?
I wouldn't say we do anything different to prepare for it. I mean, it's just taking it one at bat and one inning at a time. Doesn't matter if we're down or up big. I mean, we still try to treat every inning and at bat and game the same way. And so I think that's what really helps us not make those moments too big and be able to have those fun and exciting comebacks like that, just taking it one step at a time.
Yes, for any of you guys, how have you been able to find the battle back, the counter punch when you guys do get down in these certain situations that you may not have had earlier on in the season?
You got it. I think it's just a mentality. I mean, Bloomy's kind of preached that the whole entire year, and I think that it's really starting to show later on in the season. And I think it's mentality and personality, to be honest. And I think a lot of our team just kind of has that.
What do you think the biggest, for any of you guys, what's the biggest difference this year compared to years past? And where do you think you guys can pull from experience to be more successful this time around?
I mean, we have a lot of talent this year, and we had a lot of talent last year too. I think the difference is just kind of the way the game goes. I mean, we saw last year how hot we were playing and how good we were early on, and then what happened at the end of the year, and then this year what we went through at the beginning, and then how we've played recently. So I think it's just part of the game, and we're getting hot at the right time, which is awesome, and we're just not trying to change anything or do anything crazy, and just trust all our abilities and talent. And so I feel like we're doing a good job at that.
To piggyback off that, with how you're saying like last year you finished up to this year, now going into the Pac-12 tournament, not that you're not focused, but does it help you to kind of be more, I guess, relaxed for the start of the game, for the start of the tournament?
Yeah, I would say so, but I mean, I feel like that's also like our strong point of being like relaxed and loose and playing the game. That's when we play our best, and so I think we just try to keep that through every single game.
Do you guys feel a sense of pressure or anything being on the bubble and knowing that you guys need to execute this weekend and make a deep run?
I don't think so. I mean, I hope not. I think we know what we're capable of, and I think as soon as that type of pressure gets into our heads, it will make it a little interesting for us. So I think it's just a matter of blocking it out and playing the game we know how to play.
Brandon, with how obviously the pitching has been up and down these last couple of weeks, how confident are you that Connor, on just a couple of days rest, he did pitch an inning on Friday, how confident are you that he's going to be consistent in his normal self on Tuesday morning?
Yeah, I mean, he's a veteran. You know what you're going to get every time. He's going to go out there and compete, throw strikes, and let the defense go to work, you know. And as a good offense like we got, that's very comforting, you know.
Keegan, with your first 2 home runs yesterday, the team officially hit 100 home runs on the season. Do you think that kind of speaks volume as to how big the offense has been this season?
Oh, it's been huge. And yeah, I saw that stat yesterday, and that's incredible. So yeah, I think I mean we could hit it a bit, and so it's just a matter of keeping it going. I think that's all we're really focused on, and then at the end of the season we'll look back on it and recognize that we made it to 100. But yeah, it's just trying to stay consistent right now.
Jacob, you're for the second straight season, you've had 10 home runs and over 50 RBIs. Joined Spencer Torkelson as the only other guy to do that in back-to-back seasons. Just kind of hear that you're in that kind of company. What kind of comes to mind?
I mean, yeah, it's awesome. It's definitely, I would say, an honor to be in the company of someone like that. We all definitely watched and experienced it because it was pretty recent of the crazy things that he did when he was here. So to hear my name next to his is pretty cool.
How has this team just naturally been able to develop the power and the home run hitting abilities you have this season?
Definitely won't let any short notice go to our strength coach, Ted. He definitely does a great job with us and knowing what each individual person needs and kind of making it more individualized than maybe some other places don't have. And so I think just his ability to understand who he's working with and what each person needs kind of helps us get the most out of each person.
This being the last Pac-12 tournament, any of you guys have any thoughts about, hey, let's maybe go out and win this last ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is to win it, obviously, but more than ever, we need to win it, kind of, to make sure we can get into a regional. So, but yeah, it'd be cool to win the last one. I didn't really think about that until you said it, but yeah, that'd be cool.
For you guys and your morale, just kind of reflecting where you guys were at as a team after that Washington State loss and sweep to where you guys have been, how do you think you've been able to use that as a stepping stone and turn around this season and get it on the chance to make a postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Washington State series kind of was just like, we knew we were better than that, and it was a matter of just flushing it and like kind of flipping that switch. It's kind of what we needed, I think. We realized that we really needed to turn the season around in order to kind of go out with a bang, I guess. So, yeah, played a rough 3 games and turning around. It's been uphill since. So I think we've gotten to a point where we know like how we play our best baseball, and it's kind of like we can look back on that and remember that that's not how we do it around here. So so it was the kick in the butt we needed, I guess.
Each of you guys are one of 5 players who have had double-digit home runs this year. What's kind of the mentality through this lineup of passing it down to the next guy and just each person being able to do their job?
I think it's trust. I mean, it starts with Campy, and then obviously Boot's good behind him, and then me, and then Toby, then Compton. I mean, I think that, again, like that's just speaking to the lineup. It's not fun to face any of us, and I don't think a pitcher has fun when he's thrown against us. I mean, our first 5 hitters, I mean, the whole lineup is good, but the first 5 is like, I would say it's one of the best in the country. So, yeah.
Bouncing off of that, Nick, what do you remember about Stanford's arms 2 weeks ago in Palo Alto? How necessarily that will be a challenge on Tuesday morning?
I mean, they're pretty decent. You know, they got some velo, which is nice. Velo and decent off speed, but I mean, obviously we already faced them. We faced them 2 weeks ago. I mean, we handled them pretty well, so hopefully we can take that and do it again on Tuesday. So we'll see. Yeah.
Brandon, for you individually, last season having to sit out the entire time due to injury, to see the power you've been able to develop and just kind of the season you've had, how's that to just witness that come through and together and to be fully healthy and experience baseball again?
Yeah, I mean, last year I witnessed the whole season from the stands or the bullpen sometimes, you know. I mean, last pack tournament I was in the stands sitting with some other players, like we weren't allowed in the dugout and stuff. So obviously I didn't feel like part of the team, but it's like I got to learn, I got to see what I need to be able to do in game and stuff. So I was able to take that into this year and go at it.
Kind of in the middle of the order, how do you feel like in that role you can kind of like be that spark plug to kind of change the trajectory of a lineup in a game and shift it to the back end of the lineup to keep that momentum swinging?
Yeah, like they said earlier, it starts with Campos, and then I got 4 other guys in front of me that are doing it. So I feel like having all that protection in the lineup's huge, and it gives me more pitches to hit, and it gives the whole lineup more to do. You know, it causes chaos and makes the other team very uncomfortable.
They're calling you the Bash Brothers. What do you make of that nickname?
It just means we score a lot of runs, hit a lot of homers, and you know, a lot of celebrating.
Got a nice ring to it?
Yeah, sounds cool.
You guys talked about this season, a lot of you, about the aspirations for Omaha prior to the season. Now being on the cusp of the postseason and every game meaning just that much more, how do you guys make this push toward that ultimate destination?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool being in the position we are. I mean, we truly hold our own fate in our hands. I mean, nothing's set in stone, but we have the ability to make things happen, and we're not relying on anybody else to win or lose. I mean, if we go out there and play our game, we're holding our own fate, and so I feel like that's a cool feeling, and it's gonna just mean that much more to us and give us that much more motivation.
You guys talked about, or Willie talked about at times there being a lack of player accountability. How have you guys been able to hold each other accountable through this season and be able to get yourself back to the winning ways and build up this stretch you have?
Yeah. You wanna go?
I just think it's the seniors. I think we have some really good seniors in the clubhouse. Trey Newman, Tyler Meyer, guys like that. I mean, they're huge for us. So yeah, I think Harris Williams too. I mean, they've been around for a while. They know how things work. So it's nice to have them around.
I think we've definitely like bonded too. a little more than like we've come a long way as like a family, I guess. So I think that's kind of helped, I guess, hold each other accountable. But I also, yeah, I think everyone just kind of is bringing each other up, and it comes with a bond and like a family environment.
Last year, you guys weren't able to make it out of pool play in the Pac-12 tournament. How do you ensure you change that and get to the semifinal stage?
Gotta win.
Yeah, I think it's just taking it game by game. I feel like we aren't so worried about, I guess, making it out of pool play. It's just winning the games we can win. And so, give it everything we got on Tuesday, and then we're going to give it everything we got on Thursday, and see where we stand there.
How do you like that schedule with the day off? Had it last year. How do you?
I like it. I think it's a nice little break. We'll probably get back here and light practice, I guess, and so I like it. Yeah, reflect and grow. I don't know. I like it better than going back to back. I think.
Yeah.
You guys ready for your earliest game of the year?
Yeah, 10 a.m. How do you feel?
It'll be a little cooler. So
6:45 bus. I don't know if I'm making
How big of an advantage do you guys feel that it's here in Scottsdale, so on that off day you can just come back here and have a light practice?
it's huge. I think.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
It's in our backyard, so.
Yeah, and we get to have our practice at our home field. Like we get to, I mean, never want to be comfortable, but we get to be the most comfortable team here. So, I mean, I think we're going to take advantage of it, and hopefully it'll pay off for us.
And also with the fans, and also having the possibly home field advantage for both of you guys' games, especially with how the crowds were on both Friday night and Saturday. How big is it to just see that the fan base is recognizing how hot you guys are and knowing that they're going to show up even at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not the probably most ideal time for them to show up, but I mean, we trust in them, and we've seen what they've been doing for us, like especially Saturday night. I mean, that's probably one of the loudest experiences that we've had this whole year, and so hopefully we can bring that in on Tuesday. And I mean, the fans mean a ton to us, so I mean, we all love seeing them there, and so hopefully they can make it out.
And Billy, you guys have talked about obviously complimentary baseball too, but the hotter the offenses have got, how do you feel that that's kind of, and not that they haven't been solid, but how do you feel that's just kind of energized the pitching staff as well?
Makes things a lot more comfortable for them. You know, they're not trying to make more pitches that they can just go out and throw strikes. And I mean, even if they give up a 3 spot, I mean, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday there were 3 runs given up in the top of the first, and I mean, we bounced back right after that and scored a bunch of runs. So I feel like it helps them out a lot.
Yeah, and we've been on the other side of it too. I mean, and just being a team, having to watch the opposing team go out there and hit and score a ton of runs and just sit on defense, it kills you. And so it makes it that much easier for a pitching staff to go on a team that has to go sit out on defense for a while. So we try to make it as easy as we can for our pitchers.
Jacob, you've been here for all 3 years of Willie's tenure. What do you feel like about this year? It's the best regular season record you guys have had. What has made this year special and different from the rest?
Coach Bloomquist has definitely done a great job with us. I mean, he came into this thing, no experience, not knowing anything, just kind of taking on the challenge head on, which is what he's always done. And so, I mean, I have a ton of respect for him, and I always will. And just the growth that he's been able to have in the last 3 years that I've personally experienced, and the amount of growth he's been able to put onto his players, it's just been amazing. And just learning on how to coach better and deal with situations and everything like that. I mean, he's definitely the root of everything, and so we all owe a lot to him, and we all trust in everything he does. And so it's just gaining that experience, and I think it's helped us become a better team.
Connor, obviously only 1 inning on Friday, obviously very out of routine for you to even going on Friday, let alone 1 inning. How necessarily have you been resting the last couple of days, and how feel like you're ready to go for tomorrow morning?
I've had to adjust a little bit. Just being on that same routine all year, kind of being on Saturdays has kind of got me in a nice routine, but it was a little different the past week, moving up a day and now going on a little shorter rest, but I only threw 1 inning, so body's feeling good, just getting ready for tomorrow.
Being able to pitch in a Pac-12 tournament-like stage, a postseason atmosphere, what are you amped up for that, and how are you preparing for that?
It's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm just keeping the same approach as I have all year. feel like I've had some success this year with just keeping within myself and not trying to change too much and just going out there and competing and executing pitches. And if I do that, I'm thinking it'll go well.
Being that consistent guy that Willie has relied upon to bridge those games, how do you come out and get the job done for your team to secure that game 1 victory?
Yeah, just slowing the game down, controlling what I can control, let our offense hit. You know, they've been swinging it really well lately, as everyone knows. So just kind of doing my part, just making one pitch at a time, not letting the moment get too big, and slowing things down when needed. I think it's just going to be all really important in executing a good win tomorrow.
How cool is it for you to be from Scottsdale and be playing on this stage in Scottsdale?
Yeah, it's sick. I've actually never been to this field, so I'm pretty excited to go look at it and see what it's about. And I'm pretty excited, though. I've got my family coming, so excited for them to see and all of it and just be a part of this last chapter of the Pac-12.
You had 6 innings and 1 run ball when you played this Cardinal one 2 weeks ago in Palo Alto. What do you remember specifically about their offense? Obviously, maybe a little bit more of a down year for them in past years. What do you necessarily remember about their lineup?
Yeah, they're a good lineup. You know, I think they're young. They got a good amount of young guys, but you know, I'm just gonna keep the same plan. Not trying to do too much and just not letting the moment get too big. But yeah, they're good. I expect them to watch film on what I did my past outing versus them, and if they want to adjust to it, good. You know, if not, I'll be ready to any kind of scenario possible. But yeah, just doing that and executing the pitches. If any pitcher executes their pitch, I think it's going to go well.
Is there anything you've had to expedite in your weekly routine or process, knowing that you are pitching on a Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't throw a bullpen this week. My bullpen was Friday, technically, or yeah, when I came in for that inning on Friday. So that was technically my bullpen day. So yeah, just kind of been playing catch past few days, letting the body try to recover a little more, just with that shorter rest. But other than that, I've been keeping the same routine.
Feeling healthy and things like that?
Yeah. I mean, everyone at this point of the year is getting a little, bodies are wearing down a little bit, but now it's just being mentally tougher, being mentally stronger than the other people, and embracing all the elements. You know, we're playing at 10 a.m. tomorrow, so that's not really a late game. We're used to the afternoon or evening game, so embrace it. You know, be happy that we're getting to play at 10 a.m. and be ready from the start of the day. It starts tonight, started yesterday too with preparation, but doing all that is just going to get us ready to go.
You think you'll make the 6:45 bus ride?
Oh, I plan on it. You know, I'll have to set a few more alarms than I typically would for a 6 p.m. game, but you know, I'm ready to go.
How much confidence does it give you to have the Bash brothers behind you, knowing that if you do give up a run or two more than you maybe expect, that you have those guys behind you to pick up the slack on the other end?
Yeah, it's always nice to have the run support from our offense and the way they've been swinging it. It's pretty cool to see and pretty cool to watch them just kind of swing free and easy and have a lot of success. But my job tomorrow is to go out, make quality pitches and execute and get them back in the dugout to swing it. You know, that's what I'm trying to do tomorrow is just get them off the field as quick as possible.
With how up and down the staff has been as a whole these last couple of weeks, obviously with the offense having to do more than normal, scoring 14 runs a game basically, well, how confident are you in this very young bullpen to be going into a very postseason-like winter environment, unlike a veteran like yourself who's probably seen that before? How confident are you that they're going to deliver in the moment behind me?
Yeah, I have full confidence in them. I think the difference between, you know, viewing people as a freshman now is, you know, some of these freshmen on other teams have 10, 15, 20 innings. Like some of our freshmen have upwards 30, mid-30s, high 40s, whatever it is, number of innings. Like, we don't really view them as freshmen anymore. Like, they've been in the big moments. They've pitched on the midweeks. They've pitched on weekends. They've pitched in our biggest games of the year. It's like now nothing's different just because it's postseason baseball. It's not like you need to get tensed up or try to do more than what you've done. It's the same thing. You're throwing strikes, you're executing pitches, and you're attacking the zone. It's the same thing we've been doing all year. And they've had a lot of experience so far this year, which a lot of other teams haven't had that with their freshmen. So I have full confidence in them.
You've been in college a lot more than some of these other pitchers in the staff, like you said. How you talk about how guys getting wear down toward the end of the season. How do the younger guys take care of their arms and ensure that they're healthy for a potential postseason run?
Yeah, it's just about taking care of the body. Like you said, it's just about getting in the training room with Jesse, our trainer, and doing what needs to be done. You know, we have all the resources here to make your body feel good. And like, it's just natural that your body's going to start wearing down at the end of the year. It's 56 games in, you know, it's just going to happen. But recovering as much as you can, getting the right amount of sleep, putting the good food in you that you need to do in order to feel good for the next day, all that contributes to how your body's going to feel and all that. But it's just about doing the small things, and I believe we're doing all that. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Coach Bloomquist talked about the possibility of getting Thomas Burns back sometime in the near future. How big would that be for him to be in your bullpen?
That'd be awesome. I know Tom's been working really hard on his recovery, and I talk to him daily. Just seeing him at the field, he's always here doing his recovery stuff and throwing off the mound and stuff like that. And he's pushing to come back, and I hope he is able to. That'd be awesome for our staff and for the team as a whole to see him. If not, it's okay. Like we got plenty of guys behind us that I trust, the coaches trust, the hitters trust. Like we got enough guys, but if he's able to come back, that'd be awesome.
I know it's tough to reflect in the moment because you still got ball left to play, but knowing that the regular season has concluded, how big has this opportunity to play on the stage at ASU and to showcase yourself in this way been for you in your individual career?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I'm very grateful for the coaches for giving me this opportunity. They gave me a chance. I didn't have the best year at GCU last year, and they still believed in me. They saw something in me that not a lot of other people saw, and I'm forever grateful for that. And they saw me, and I'm trying to take advantage of the opportunities I get here, and pretty happy with how it's gone so far. But I'll be happier if we are able to win the PAC tournament. So that's what I care about at this point. It's not the individual accolades. It's what we can do as a team going forward.
Thanks, Connor.